Drawing on the timeless wisdom of the Stoics, we guide you to give you time-tested thoughts from the greatest philosophers to help you persevere. Persevering, it's not simply getting through it. It's getting through it while still maintaining your morality and humanity. Stoicism does not breed apathy, but strength. Before we embark, a humble request. If you find value in this content, a like would aid in furthering the spread of Stoic wisdom. And if you're not yet subscribed, consider joining us and hitting the bell to stay updated on our journey. 1. Accept your fate. Epictetus once said, "Do not seek for things to happen the way you want them to. Rather, wish that what happens happen the way it happens. Then you will be happy." Embracing hardship is not about resigning ourselves to a fate of suffering. Rather, it's about recognizing the inherent beauty and rarity of our existence, even amidst challenges. The Stoic concept of amor fati encourages us to love and accept every moment of our lives, including moments of struggle and adversity. Consider the sheer improbability of your existence, the countless variables and chance events that led to your birth. Despite the odds, here you are, a living testament to resilience and possibility. By acknowledging the rarity and beauty of our own existence, we can begin to see our hardships in a new light. Accepting our fate does not mean passively enduring suffering. Rather, it means recognizing that struggle is an inherent part of the human experience. This acceptance empowers us to persevere, to act with courage and determination in the face of adversity. 2. Don't complain. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Everything that happens is either endurable or not. If it's endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining. If it's unendurable, then stop complaining. Your destruction will mean its end as well. Just remember, you can endure anything your mind can make endurable by treating it as in your interest to do so, in your interest or in your nature. Whether you persevere or not is up to you. However, complaining doesn't necessarily increase your chances of success. It's important to experience emotions and seek support from others, but don't convince yourself that failure is inevitable. Avoid expressing to yourself or others that a particular challenge will be insurmountable. In fact, complaining only makes endurance more difficult. Marcus Aurelius argues that anything can be endured if you believe it can be. By allowing yourself to complain, you're undermining your own resilience. While you might manage to push through something by complaining, it will damage your character. To demonstrate virtue in the face of adversity, we must maintain control over our own minds. 3. Realize it's not the end of the world. Epictetus once said, "Never say of anything, 'I have lost it, but I have returned it.' Is your child dead? It is returned. Is your estate taken away? Well, and is not that likewise returned? But he who took it away is a bad man. What difference is it to you who the giver assigns to take it back?" Epictetus encourages us not to internalize life's challenges. Instead, recognize that nothing is truly taken from us. Rather, it returns to its natural state. The universe predates us and will outlast us. Similarly, our existence extends beyond our current struggles. Despite life's hardships, we persevere. While suffering is not constant, it is an inherent part of life. In times of loss or adversity, whether it's a missed opportunity or the passing of a loved one, living virtuously remains paramount. This hardship will pass, as will we. Our power lies in how we choose to respond to life's inevitabilities. 4. Don't just sit there and take it. Seneca once said, "Putting things off is the biggest waste of life. It snatches away each day as it comes and denies us the present by promising the future. The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today." You are arranging what lies in fortune's control and abandoning what lies in yours. What are you looking at? To what goal are you straining? The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately. Seneca underscores our capacity for control over our lives. Delaying action relinquishes that control to our suffering. Taking steps to alleviate our suffering is an act of reclaiming control. Perseverance is not passive. It requires proactive engagement. We persevere by confronting our hardships with rational responses. We persevere by discerning the most virtuous path forward. Perseverance demands immediate action. 5. Demand better, don't just want better. Epictetus once said, "How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself, and in no instance bypass the discriminations of reason? You have been given the principles that you ought to endorse, and you have endorsed them. What kind of teacher, then, are you still waiting for in order to refer your self-improvement to him? You are no longer a boy, but a full-grown man. If you are careless and lazy now and keep putting things off and always deferring the day after, which you will attend to yourself, you will not notice that you are making no progress, but you will live and die as someone quite ordinary." In times of struggle, the temptation to give up on ourselves may be strong. We might settle for mediocrity, resigning ourselves to an existence devoid of striving for a better life. This is simply unacceptable. As we've discussed, the choice is clear: persevere or cease. Regardless, our time is finite. Epictetus reminds us that by choosing not to persevere, we risk succumbing to an ordinary existence. While everything inevitably comes to an end, there is power in the decision to persevere. A hardship can either be because of our actions or our passing. We retain some control over when our suffering ceases. It's imperative that we insist on overcoming our hardships. Even small actions, such as tidying our surroundings or advocating for better treatment, contribute to this endeavor. We must not become accustomed to suffering. While we acknowledge its existence, we must continue to combat it. Complacency is not an option. 6. Stop torturing yourself. Epictetus once said, "We suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgment about them." Perhaps much of our suffering stems from self-inflicted wounds. When faced with challenges, we often internalize them, attributing personal failure to external circumstances. While it's essential to take responsibility for our actions, we can do so without subjecting ourselves to unnecessary suffering. For instance, instead of berating ourselves with thoughts like, "I lost my job because I'm useless and worthless," we can approach the situation with rationality. "I lost my job because I didn't meet the requirements." The distinction lies in reporting a judgment versus stating a fact. Rational assessment mitigates our suffering. Blaming ourselves for every misfortune not only fails to address the underlying issues, but also exacerbates our emotional turmoil. Often, difficulties arise simply because life is unpredictable. By refraining from taking everything personally, we empower ourselves to confront challenges head-on. Recognizing that not everything is entirely within our control grants us the courage to take action. 7. Use your resources. Epictetus once said, "Prudent people look beyond the incident itself and seek to form the habit of putting it to good use." On the occasion of an accidental event, don't just react in a haphazard fashion. Remember to turn inward and ask what resources you have for dealing with it. Dig deeply. You possess strengths you might not realize you have. Find the right one. Use it. When faced with adversity, our instinctual response is often to fight or flight. Yet, as humans, we possess the unique capacity for rational thought. Resist the urge to succumb to survival mode. Instead, pause, take a breath, and recognize the opportunity to demonstrate virtue in action. Not every situation demands an immediate reaction, and not every challenge warrants a response. While perseverance requires active engagement, it also allows for deliberate consideration. There's no need to react hastily unless the situation is dire. Allow yourself the space to deliberate, to let the situation simmer before taking action. Thank you for joining us on this Stoic journey. Until next time, may these practices transform your mornings, your days, and ultimately, your life.